Hello. Welcome back to Ben in Berlin, the German beer series. This is episode 7. Yep, so welcome back, gang. This is episode 7. Who'd have thought we'd have got this far? Not me, that's for sure, but we're here, and it's great to see you, and welcome back, and hello, and how are you? And yay, the sun is shining, the sun is shining, the sun is here, the sun god has praised us, the utterly bonkers. We're going to be tasting 3 German beers this week. Yeah, later on in this video, I'm going to do a fan request, a special fan request. So yeah, keep watching to find out what that could be. Ooh. The first beer this week is Bayreuther Kellerbier Zwick'l. The second beer is Krumbacher Edelherb. And the third beer this week in Ben in Berlin German Beers episode 7 is Krumbacher Kellerbier. Okay guys, let's get started with beer number 1, and that was this very medieval looking Kellerbier, cellar beer, and it's a Zwick'l. So this is our first Zwick'l, I think, in the series, and it's from the brewery Bayreuther, or Bayreuther, I should say, and well, there's a picture of some ingredients here, so let's see if this is what the beer will taste like. That's a huge head, isn't it, guys? I think I've just poured that quite badly. But you're getting the colour there, aren't you? That's, yeah, very amber at this end. Might be a little bit different over there in homeland. But over here in Berlin, it's quite amber. Yeah. Getting a very malty smell straight away. This is a natural yeast, cloudy, unfiltered beer. This Zwick'l. They say with these Zwick'ls, they're less hoppy, usually darker than a Kellerbier. Ah, okay. That's actually quite refreshing. Wasn't expecting that at all. Very fresh, very savoury. That head's really stayed quite strong. I mean, I know it was huge before, but that's really staying there for quite a while. It's quite a harmonious flavour. There's nothing that's coming out too strong. These beers originally were reserved for the brewing master. They would open up the barrel and taste a bit of this unfiltered beer, and then basically plug that hole back in and let it continue on its journey to become properly a Kellerbier. But they realised actually that it's quite delicious at that stage, and so the master brewers, who originally were the only ones who could have the beer in this state, well, they decided to open up for all of us to enjoy. As here, Aktien Zwick'l. Aktien, I believe, is shares. And so I guess the idea with that is that everyone would then get to share this beer, rather than before it being just the master brewer who would have that first sip and then get a guzset and put it in the barrel and then close up to carry on the process of creating the Kellerbier. Also just spotted on the label here, it looks like, I think it's probably a knight. He's holding his sword, and obviously he's holding his big German beer, and he's maybe celebrating a victory. Perhaps the sword was for slaying mystical creatures in a different time zone, a faraway land. Maybe he was an old school witcher hunting all the creepy crawlies well, creepy crawlies is quite timid, isn't it? Hunting all the monsters that lived in the undergrowth of the faraway netherworlds of infinity and slash. And, yeah, it is very tasty. I'm pleasantly surprised. I think, guys, I'm going to give this beer a 7 out of 10. So, this week to cleanse the palate between the beers, we have got some mushrooms, because, you know, why not? And, oh, really strong strawberry smell. Not reviewing these. These have a really renowned history as being the official palate cleansers of sommeliers, and so I'm just joining in with that in crowd. Gooey mushrooms. These aren't real mushrooms, these are sweeties. But let's move on to beer number 2, and that's the Krumbacher Edelherb. I just spent a good few minutes talking to you guys about the second beer, which is here. I went to click stop, and it turns out I didn't click start. We're gonna have to recap what I did and what I said, so hopefully I can recreate it effectively for you now. So, just pour it on the top. Glug, 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 glug. So it's still showing, yeah, really foamy actually, the head on this. It tastes like I did the first time. I said it's quite bitter, a little bit malty, not much of a smell. Very refreshing though, very sparkling, very fresh. The bubbles didn't disappear as quickly as that on the first pour. The name of the beer is Krumbacher Edelherb. Edelweiser, legendary Krumbacher Pils. It's from a place called Kumbach. Kumbach is known as the secret capital of beers. In Kumbach, they found it's called an amphora, the jug with the 2 handles. You see, you know, 3,000 years ago, used to transport olive oil and wine and beer and probably blood and milk, and maybe not the last 2. And they found one in Kumbach, the site where this is now brewed. The brewery itself, though, is only about 150 to 170 years old, roughly. And but it's really cool that they're brewing on the site where they discovered this piece of pottery, which was basically the first example of brewing beer within these lands of Germany that we know of today, down there in Bavaria. I then gave it a rating. The rating was the same as last time. It was 7 out of 10. And I then did this to the camera. Sammy P commented on one of the recent beer videos saying, "Ben in Berlin, can we see a slow motion opening of one of the bottles?" You know, I listened to the fans, and I'm going to try and do that now with our third beer, which is the Krumbacher Naturtrübes Keller beer, so naturally cloudy cellar beer. So this is for Sammy P. And if you like this video, do like it, do subscribe. We know it's naturally cloudy. Just hit myself on the nose. You think in episode 7, after doing 6 episodes of this, 6 and a bit episodes of Drum Beers, I would learn not to hit my nose on the glass. But alas, the smell is very malty, but the taste is very malty as well. So overall, malty. Keller beers or cellar beers, and that means that typically they were neither clarified or pasteurized. Pasteurized. Recipe from the Middle Ages, they believe, that have passed down through history. Because back then they would have no No fridges, obviously, to store the beer. And so during the cooler months, they would create the lager and put it in the caves, and the caves became the natural, the fridges, and that's where the beer would work its magic, and those caves eventually became cellars, underground rooms. And there in a cellar or in a cave, you've got a stable and cool temperature, and that's important during the beer making process. So yeah, I hope, Sammy P, you enjoyed that slow motion open. I can imagine drinking this in the sunshine, so I'm going to give this as well a 7 out of 10. Oh, God, it's a three-way tie. Fantastic. 3 worthy winners. Congratulations to those beers. Yeah, I hope you guys are well back there in homeland. Hopefully you're powering through in the best of your abilities. Stay safe, stay strong, drink beer, and I'll see you very, 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 very soon. All the best, lots of love. Mwah, cheers. You take the mushroom, you position yourself for the catch. Thank you. Don't do that at home.